my guest is V Portland, and she's just woken up because she's not in Australia. I did ask her if she's had a breakfast, and apparently not. So we'll get the show rolling so V can go and have brekkie. And we're just doing some tech on the run here because there's a bit of crackling coming through the line, which is unsurprising considering that V is in... Where are you, V? Tell us.
I'm in Southampton on the south coast of the UK.
There you go. And you know what? It wasn't all that long ago that we would have to send letters by sea mail. And here we are.
Absolutely.
You're in Southampton. I'm in Palmwoods on the Sunshine Coast, and we're having a live chat. It's incredible, isn't it?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, our grandparents, can you imagine our grandparents imagining this? It's
I
beyond,
know.
Isn't it? Beyond imagination. Yeah.
Beyond their imagination, really. And so it's, you know, we can't even whinge about a bit of audio crackling. So let's not. Let's just jump straight into telling me what your first piece of random shit is.
Well, this first piece, I absolutely adore her, but most people look at her and go, using expletives quite frequently, how ugly is she? Okay, so this is Esmeralda.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
She's a marionette from Prague, and I was in Prague in 2001, I think.
Yep.
And if you go to Prague, you need to go to a marionette show because marionettes and opera are their big things. And she is a proper marionette puppet, but because she's so movable, her limbs occasionally fall off.
Oh dear.
So I have to put them back in again. But yeah, and her feet are quite sort of gnarly, really. But I saw her. And at the time, I'm very colourful now, but at the time, it was before I'd done any work on myself in terms of my confidence. And I'd grown up being told that I was fat and ugly and that I should hide away. And I saw her, and she just resonated with me. And then I read her story. She's got a little storybook with her, and she's a pseudo-nymph senior. And she comes from the family of the wild women of the woods. And she considers herself to be beautiful and seductive nymph of the finest pedigree, but other nymphs avoid her. And they do not invite her on collective dances on principle, because she loves to dance, but she does it badly. And at the time, I used to think I wasn't very good either. And the curious thing is I've gone on to teach dance for several years since then. But I loved her spiky hair, and I loved the fact that even though she was constantly told how ugly she was and how she didn't fit in, how she ended up being this gorgeous, vibrant nymph that loved to dance, and it didn't matter what anybody else thought. So I just loved her story, and just, the whole attitude of not caring what other people thought. I love to dance, so I'm going to do it anyway, and I don't care. I just loved her. And I think
that's such a wonderful thing, isn't it, V? Because I completely get that, and I love how we can use something like a marionette or anything like that can help us express something that's so tightly held, and little by little it helps get it out, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, now she sits on a bookshelf, not in our lounge because she does freak too many people out, but she is even more scary up close. But I loved her vibrancy, and back then I only wore black clothes. My hair was always down so that you couldn't see my face because I didn't want to be seen, and I just loved that, wonky and all, she just accepted herself. And And yes, she is just an inanimate object. But for me, back then, I thought, if as long as I can learn to accept myself, that would be enough. And thankfully, I've gone way beyond that, which is wonderful. But back then, I thought she was my goal. You know, I was still expecting to feel ugly. But I thought, as long as I can feel confidence to dance and not worry about what people thought about me. And yeah, her story made me cry. I remember buying her, picking her up off of the stall. And she was in this gorgeous little marionette shop just off of, I think it's called the Charles Bridge in Prague. And there were all these stunning ones, you know, and I did buy a stunning one as well. But just everyone would walk past her and ignore her. Or make comments about how ugly she was. And I just kept thinking, I think she's beautiful. I think, you know, she's got character and colour, and she's living despite it all. Well, she's not living, but in the story, I thought, yes, you know, she's just enjoying it. And I thought, that's a great metaphor for life, surely, that, you know, we can all live no matter what we've got. So,
yeah, I'm with you. I love that story too. That's a beautiful story, Dee. That really quite captures me, and I remember being similar as a younger person. So I'm loving that. Now, do you have a second piece of random shit to share?
I do. You'll hear her clanking as another arm.
That's okay. And just to the viewer, V said, I've got 4 pieces that I've brought because I know the first one, but I can't decide between the other ones. So I think this is going to be a surprise for V as much as it is for us. What do you think?
Yeah. So I'll pick this one. This is a mahjong set. Now, I saw mahjong being played, I think the first time it was on a lot of desktop PCs.
Yes.
And I liked the idea of it, but didn't know how to play it. So someone bought me a set, which was lovely. This was about 16 years ago that someone bought me this set. And since then, we have another cat going to join us.
And here's the cat.
So I loved it. I loved this set. And around 14 years ago, I went to Sri Lanka for a holiday, an incredible country. And there were these 3 British women there, and they were playing mahjong. And I talked to them, and I said, you know, this is amazing. Can I watch? And they said, we need a 4th. Play with us. And I felt like I'd stepped into some sort of Agatha Christie novel. You know, it was a very colonial hotel. It was, you know, these 3 older ladies drinking gin and tonic that avoid the mosquitoes, obviously. Yeah. And so they brought me in, and I played with them over 2 nights. And it was lovely. And I got really excited about coming home and getting out my mahjong set. And you can see that I obviously have played it frequently, because they're all still in their cellophane wrappers.
For goodness sakes.
I know. And it's like, I really want to learn how to play it. And I should probably get the tiles out and look at them, but they look so tidy. And I'm not, anyone will play with me. So I just keep them there, and every now and then I get them out and go, oh, they're so pretty. They're so lovely. Yeah, and it's in such a lovely, you know, velvet lined box, and all these wonderful things that make it a fabulous set. But yeah, I've never even taken it out of its packet.
Look, that's hilarious. I'm loving that story too. V, the person that gave you that set, are they aware that you've never opened it?
No, because I haven't seen them in about 14 years, and we all moved away. And they bought me the set, and I asked if they'd play with me, and in more words than this, they said no.
That was the short answer.
Yeah. So I mean, because it's not. I'm sure once you know, it's one of those things, isn't it? Once you know how to play it, it will be quite easy. But because you've got to think about, there's all these superstitions around it. Like, so apparently in China, quite often people will wear their lucky underwear to play it, and if they lose it, they'll go and change their underwear if they lose a game. and you've got some of them, they have to sit in the right space, because from what I recall, you play on the northeast, south or west sides, and some people will only ever play on the east side or the west side or whatever. So it's got all of this importance over in China, but over here, in the UK, and I don't know whether it's the same there, but if you say to someone, "Oh, do you play mahjong?" "Oh yeah, on my phone," and it's very different. So yeah, I still enjoy playing it on my phone, but you've got to take into consideration the elements and the animals and all sorts of things on the tiles when you're playing it in real life. But yeah, I've not found anyone to play it with me yet.
Yeah, well,
every now and then I wonder if there's a mahjong group locally, but then I get a bit scared that they'll know what they're doing and I won't.
oh, look, I'm sure they wouldn't mind. And I think mahjong, I think I used to call it mahjong.
Well, it might be that.
It may not be that. I doubt it. I don't think I would have the right pronunciation in a million years. But that was like one of the first computer games we played. We had a game of golf and then mahjong and then solitaire. And they're pretty much on high rotation. So I'm now 50. I'll be 58 next week. Just a little heads up in case you want to wish me a happy birthday on Tuesday next week. I'll be 58. And so I guess that I was playing those computer games in my early 20s, mid-20s. So when a person of my vintage turns around to a young person and says, "You spend too much time playing games on a computer," I did that. It's not a good thing. Yeah, but I haven't played it for years. Maybe I need to. Should I do that again? Should I pick up another addiction? What do you think?
It can't be unhealthy, can it? At least you're not getting drunk or eating your weight in chocolate every day, or sniffing heroin or whatever you do with heroin.
Yes.
So surely it's a healthy addiction. All right. It's calming.
Yes.
That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
I think it's a good excuse. I like it. Currently, my current game is, and I'd be curious to find anyone out there who's playing the same game, is on the BBC website, in their Doctor Who section, there's a bunch of games, and there's one called 13 Doctors, and it's a little bit like mahjong, I guess, where you have to match up the doctors to advance to, I guess, the 13th. Well, I haven't got anywhere near the 13th, and it's all consuming and it's driving me mad, and I think I should probably just delete it.
But I play this silly game. I'm not technically minded at all, but I play this game on my phone called Wizard of Oz, and it's a matching game.
Yep.
And I've been playing it for maybe 3 years, and I keep thinking, I'll go back to playing mahjong, or I'll go and play something else. But I'm on level 3,200 and something. And it's like, I've invested all this time. I never thought I'd get to level 20 or something, let alone 3,000. And I play it once a day, sometimes more if I'm tired. But yeah, you do feel like you're invested in it, and that you can't walk away, because then the time means nothing.
I know.
But yeah.
Well, do you know,
I'm curious about what to do.
my oldest son introduced me to Candy Crush, and seriously, I could have killed him, because I would never do that. That's not serious at all. But I was just completely absorbed by this stupid game. And one day there was like a series of things happen, and I just went, no, that's it, that's enough. And I deleted it. And I'd been playing it for years. And
wow.
And interestingly, to the point where I would see the vision of the tiles and everything in my sleep, but when I closed my eyes, I could still see them. But within about a week of having deleted it, which Lewis was really surprised about, I actually forgot how to play it. I'd forgotten how it played. So there is hope. chance of recovery. Don't feel like you've gone down the rabbit hole, never to come out the other side. I deleted Candy Crush after many years, and I'm living to tell the tale.
You give us hope.
Yeah, absolute. Now, V, tell me, what is your cat's name?
Well, I've got 3.
Oh, okay.
So the big fluffy one you saw at the beginning, that was Tallulah.
Yes.
She's our brain damaged girl. She got badly abused before we got her, so she's not the brightest button in the box, but we adore her. Then we've got Aurelia, who's a tortoiseshell, and she's very shy, so she hides a lot of the time. And then the thinner black one, she's Muriel, and I found her in the back of a moving truck once. So they've all got these stories, and it's unusual that they haven't joined me again. Obviously understood that I was talking to someone.
Yes.
But normally every meeting I've been on during lockdown, someone's seen one of their bottoms.
Yes.
It's just the cat way, isn't it?
It is the cat way.
So,
it is the cat way. Now, talking about being locked down, what's your situation?
At the moment, we've gone onto the rule of 6 now, where we're not allowed to mix with more than 5 other people, which doesn't make sense because in schools they're doing more than that, in places of work they're doing more than that. So it's daft that you can go and work with 20 people in the same office, but you can't have a barbecue with 4 or 5 of them or 6 of them when you get home. So it's just ridiculous and grasping at straws logic, I think, over here at the moment. There are some cities in lockdown, full lockdown again, but the numbers are rising slowly, and I think people have had enough and perhaps not being as cautious as we were at the beginning. For me, thankfully, I work from home anyway, so I don't need to go anywhere, and most of my meetings can be done online. So, yeah, but it's still quite weird, It's I do wonder whether. And yet we always think about 2020 vision as something we look at in hindsight. But now I'm thinking, maybe it's not what we think it means. Maybe it's going to be, well, this is how things were in 2020. And what did we think of them then? Maybe that's what it meant. It was some sort of prophecy or something from many years ago. I don't know. But it is just a very bizarre year, isn't it, for everyone?
It is a very bizarre year. It is indeed. Yeah. All right, V, thank you so much. What are you going to have for breakfast? What will you go and do now?
I might have some fruit toast
Nice.
this morning.
Lashings of butter?
Yeah, obviously.
Good on you. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. Talk to you again.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Pleasure. Bye. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us for that amount of time. I'm likely to be back next week. I hope you're catching up with some of Matt's videos called Shit I Need to Know. And we're going to be back at Bankfoot again in the not too distant future. So stay tuned for those videos too. Thank you. Thanks, V. That was great.
Good, thank you. Yeah, the other things I had were I've got a Barbara Popper key ring, but then I thought I don't know whether anyone else would know who Barbara Popper was.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, and then this giant flower that someone made me.
Oh, that's beautiful too. I love the colour.
Yeah, my business colours are purple and turquoise, so she had them made, which is lovely.
Oh, very nice.
No, thank you. I really enjoyed that. I feel wide awake and ready to start the day now.
Good on you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It was fun.
Would you let me know when you release it, if you release it?
Well,
I'll share it around and things.
Yeah, please do. It'll be ready in about 10 or 15 minutes to be shared.
Wow, that's fast.
Yeah, well, it's
Amazing.
not edited, it's live. So yeah. I just do a little bit of put a little bit of info on the video, and then it's ready. It's ready to go now, but I like to get the extra information on it and some tags and that kind of stuff, and then it's ready to be shared. So yeah, within the next